when you think you're going to get a day off from the shop, of not having to go in, think again. Because I did it once again. It seems like it's 7 days a week we work around here. At the shop, I should say. At least some of us do. I'll put it that way. You've seen the thumbnail. You see what we're going to be talking about. Yes, 6,000 Kenny half dollars we bought for the shop. And we were able to flip them pretty fast. Gonna let you know the details about that. Help me out with the thumbs up. Don't forget about the giveaway coming up. I'll let you know more about that giveaway later in the video. Make sure you're subscribed. That's all I can say. Let's get into the video right now. 6,000 1964 Kenny half dollars. We get a phone call on it. My phone rang, picked up the phone. The gentleman we deal with from time to time. And he was looking to sell 6,000 of his Kenny silver halves. This guy's done good for himself. He was one that's been stacking for years and years and years, as much as I know. And it's one time to sell. Didn't really ask him what he needed the money for. Just wanted to sell. Fine. So we went ahead and got, first before I went ahead and got him, he asked me how much we can pay. I said, let me make a phone call. I said, I might have somebody that's going to want to take them all. I said, I'm not sure this guy's that well off, but I said, I'm going to see if he's willing we do a quick deal here. So I went to the shop. I said, let me call you back in a half an hour. I called the other gentleman. I said, I got another gentleman that's willing to sell me 6,000 1964 about BU condition, about the condition you see on your screen. Some of them were a lot better. I mean, more shiny, more BU, I would say. These are not in the worst condition. Some of these are BU. Some of these are, been abused, in transactions, whatever. They're not all BU coins. I don't care about that. And then he says, well, I gotta see them. I says, okay. I says, are you interested? And he says, yeah, I'm interested mostly the really BU coins. I said, I think there's going to be some mixed, I said, but I said, if you don't want them, we can put those on the side. He says, how much are you asking for that? I said, well, I am gonna work this deal out. I'll let you know when I buy them from there, because if you don't buy them, that's fine. But I said, I'm gonna really give you a good price if you buy them all. So he says, all right, call me back. So I called the other guy back. We offered him right at milk, my friends, right at silver value, 1342 times 6,000. That's 80,520 bucks. This is not my money. This is his owner's money, right? I'm playing with. People think I'm crazy spending this much on a Sunday. Well, we did. He says, you can't give me a little bit more. I said, no. I says, this is really a stretch for us. I said, I'm taking a chance. I says, yeah, I can sell them off to the whole sale. I said, but we're not gonna smelt them down or anything like that. That was his next question to her. Are you gonna melt them down? I said, no, we don't melt the stuff down. I says, we can swing this right now if you want the deal done. I said, but I'm not paying 1 penny more than that. I said, I'm gonna give you this. I said, a lot of people are gonna give you $1 on the spot. I said, yeah. He said, you're absolutely right. He said, you're offering me a very fair price. So we gave him a check. He's happy. And he's out the door. I said, you can go to the credit union. I said, if you get the credit union that we use, you can get the cash from them. Or, he said, I'll just deposit it in my bank account to this tomorrow. I said, the check's good. He said, yes, I know your check's good. I'm not worried about the check. And, because we don't write checks that we cannot handle the right. So we go ahead and write that check. So I called the other guy back up. And I told this other guy, look, I said, I'm going to give you a good deal. I said, you want to come in, take a look at these? I'm here now. I said, we can make a deal now. Open the phone. He said, no, I'll be in. I said, all right. I said, how long can you be in? He says, can you wait there about 20 minutes? I says, yeah, I can wait here about 20 minutes. He says, good. Let me go use the bathroom, he says. And he says, I'll come in and talk to you. Okay, fine. Comes in about 20 minutes. We talking, showing him I got a big bucket out. Now these came in canvas bags, all right. So I got to put them back in canvas bags. He says, well, they're in pretty good gosh darn shape, but there's probably about like 30 or 40. I said, look, if you don't want the 30 or 40, that's fine, but I'm going to raise up the price a little bit on you. I says, look, if we're going to start pick and choosing, I said, I'm going to be at 42 cents high over melt. I said, you want to take them all? I said, I'll give you a better deal, 35 cents, and we're done. And we're done at 35 cents. He says, that's not a bad price. I said, no, it's not. I said, well, where else are you going to get them at that price? I said, and most of these are in pretty good gosh darn shape. I said, now, if you really get going through some of these, I said, and I kind of played with the bucket, and I said, if you really don't like something in there, I said, as long as it's not more than 5 or 6, you want to come in back 5 or 6 after. I said, I need a down payment of $5,000. I said, but after your check clears, you bring me in a check tomorrow. You have the same credit union as us. I said, get a credit union check. I said, as soon as your other check clears from the credit union, I said, it should be cleared tomorrow. I said, we can let you have these tomorrow afternoon. I said, if you come here first thing in the morning, I'll run to the bank, make sure that check clears, and you can have them by tomorrow afternoon. I said, but if you want to get locked in before this market opens up, I need a $5,000 check now. I said, that will hold the product, and that's how we're going to do it. I said, now, if you find something that you really don't like, it's 10 to 12 coins, I'll swap them out. I don't care we go with Franklin's. I don't care we with walk-ins, but I'm not going to sit here and go through 6,000 coins and saying, you don't like this one's got a scratch on it. I said, I'm not playing that game. I'm letting you know. I said, I'll go up to 10 to 12 coins, and that's it. To make you very happy. So you pick up the 12 worst ones, bring them back in, and I'll be able to swap them out. We got the deal done. So the shop made in a very short time frame. All right, remember what we paid out? $80,000. $520. The shop only profited $2,100 off the deal. That's not a lot of. So when people say shops take advantage of people, this is more proof right here. How do we take advantage of that? What is that percentage, my friends? That is not a big percentage of, people should be complaining to Walmart, CVS, Amazon. They're jacking up the prices. They're making money hands over fist. It's not the coin shops. Not the coin shops making money hands over fist. This ain't profit. This ain't profit. You still have to pay me for my time. Had to pay a little bit of electricity. It's taxes on the property. That was just a fast, nice looking sale for the shop. That's what that was. That don't happen. These type of deals don't happen every day. A lot of it's onesies and twosies coins, threes coins, 4, 5, 6. A couple tubes. Yeah, every now and then we sell a monster box. Every now and then we sell a couple 100 ounces at once of silver. These type of deals don't happen every single day. They're lucky they happen something like this once a month with us. And we do quite a bit of this type of deals where we know people that's interested in stuff, and we try to make both parties happy. So the party who's selling is not thinking they're getting ripped off. The party who's buying is not thinking they're getting ripped off. We're trying to do things right. And I'm still getting comments, even though from today's video, I've said it and people are still trolling me. That's fine. You want to troll me? Thank you for the view. Thank you very much. Very much. I appreciate it. But really, this is what happens. Check out channel sponsor Pinbacks for all your silver, gold, and platinum needs. Don't forget, this is the last day. 10-ounce Canadian Royal Mint bars. They have a 2 to 4 special. They also have 5 to more special. If you're interested, my friends, check them out before price goes up on those. Pinbacks is doing their job of bringing stable prices to the market, competitive prices to the market. Check them out right here, PIMBEX.com. Let them know that Crazy Coin Shop Chris sent you. It's okay if you call me crazy. I don't care. Because I am a little crazy at times. But the point being is, just because someone else can stack 6,000 Kennedy halves does not mean we all can. I sure hell can't. Most of us can't do that all at one time. We get a cost average our stacks. And, you know, sometimes, you know, if we didn't have this in-between deal, I would probably offer this guy a little bit less. The one who's trying to sell. Because this is something we would have to sit on. And we don't know where the silver is going when it opens at 6 o'clock. We don't know where the price of silver is going to go tomorrow. We assume with everything going on is going to go up next week. But we can't count on it. We can't call an assumption. Did we need the 64 halves? We always need 64 halves in the shop. We weren't totally out, but we were getting low. But why not make a deal still? Especially the condition of the coins this person had. If you can make connections with your coin shop, this is the time to do it, my friends. So people are selling left and right. This is what I've been saying a lot on my channel, is you're going to build a relationship with your local coin shop. Get to know them. Because they can take down your phone number. They can take down your name. Something you're after comes in, at least they have a number to contact you. You know, we're old school at the shop. It's not like, it's like a little box with phone numbers in it. It's kind of like a Rolodex, but it's not on the Rolodex wheel. It's like a little disk box from the floppy disk, the hard floppy disk. I keep names in. And I kind of have a memory of what people want. So I asked this person who purchased these today, are you interested anymore? He says, yeah, absolutely. So I'll put your name back in the box then. So the next time a decent sized stack comes in, I'll call him up. He said, don't call me less than a couple $100 face. He said, it's not worth my time. Okay, so that I made a note on that. Don't call unless there's at least a couple $100 face. And he only wants 64s. So that's fine. That's what he's after right now. You try to make a mental note. You try to make notes for your customers. You try to make a relationship with your local coin shop. Especially a good coin shop will do the right thing. And I love working with the public. Sometimes the public can be a pain in the rear end. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They can be worse than a pain in the rear end. But I'm trying to keep the language clean on the channel. You all know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, you build a relationship. Build a relationship with Pinbacks. I'll ask this question again because nobody's really answered me this question at all. How many online dealers do you call and the owners probably most of the time going to pick up the phone? That's channel sponsor Pinbacks. If Michael or Brian does not pick up the phone when you call and you want to talk to Michael or Brian, have them, whoever picks up the phone, have them give Michael or Brian your first name and phone number. Michael or Brian will call you back at their earliest convenience. Or you can email them at Pinbacks. Go to their webpage, Pinbacks. They got an email slot there. Send Michael and Brian an email. Give your first name and phone number right there, and they will call you back. Got any questions? They try to make it as easy as possible for the public. Thank you, Pinbacks, for sponsoring Coin Shop with Chris. Thank you to the viewer out there. You Yes, you out there wherever you are, because it's not possible without you watching these videos. Thank you for your support, everybody. We're silver and going this week. Look, we got turmoil brewing. We got tariffs coming in. It's been all over the news. Online. TV. Granted, I don't watch many local news or cable network. I'm hearing it from my grandmother's bedroom when I'm on my laptop in the kitchen. Because she has to play it so loud because she can't hear with too good. Let me just put it that way. And I'm hearing what she's watching. She flips them through. She flips them all these news channels: Fox, CNN, MSNBC, blah blah blah. They're all saying the same. They're not even talking about. They're talking about Jerome Powell. Is Trump going to fire Jerome Powell? No, Trump can't fire Jerome Powell. Let's just sugarcoat. Let's not sugarcoat that. Congress has the power to fire Jerome Powell. That's it. And this is what the news is talking about. If the news is telling the truth, they should know. No president has the power to fire the Fed, the head of the Fed. They should know this already. Just Google it. Research it. It's right there. Congress has the power. Senate, the president appoints the person. Let's not forget, President Trump was the first one who appointed Jerome Powell. Congress then, the Senate approved him. Same thing with President Biden. President Biden reappointed him. The Senate, overall standing, not all the votes both times. Keep that in mind. Some of these senators been in there for a while. They did not vote for him both times. Look it up. Did not vote for Jerome Powell, but they had enough votes to get it through. The question now becomes, will the Senate approve whoever President Trump picks next? Are we going to have a battle over this on the Senate floor? Time will tell. Jerome Powell, is he doing a decent job? I'll let you decide that yourselves. Keep this in mind. They got two mandates. Unemployment, jobs on one side, and unemployment. That's his mandate. He's got a dual mandate. Who else would do any better job than what Jerome Powell is doing right now? Where do you go? I've asked this question too on this channel, and nobody seems they want to answer this question either. Do you want job loss? Or do you lower the rates and you have high inflation come in time, which creates more job loss? The Fed's in a pickle. That's what it is. And the reason why the Fed's in the pickle, it's not just because of President Trump. It's called years and years of government spending on both sides of the aisle. And that aisle comes from the Senate on both sides, and Congress both sides, and the president choose to sign the bills. That's how it works. So it's called government spending that got us here in the first place. It's not so-called President Trump's fault, Joe Biden's fault, Obama's fault, Bush's fault. It's called government spending. All the president really does is signs the bills. Congress and Senate makes the laws. Now the president could veto it, kick the can down the road, kick the can down like we have been seeing with the deficits, kick the can down the road. This is coming now, my friends. Look at what other countries are doing. They're not buying our debt anymore. So the Fed has to come in and buy it up underneath it, and they don't want to tell you the truth. That is what's going on. It's just like if you had someone in your family, maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you had somebody in your family, or you knew someone who kept spending, and all of a sudden they coming to Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe, I need help. I need $100. But Uncle Joe knows you didn't spend your money wisely. He kept giving it to you. He kept giving it to you. You kept saying you pay Uncle Joe back. You never do it. At some point, Uncle Joe's going to get teed off and say, I'm not helping you no more. That is what's happening, my friends. The other countries are getting away from the U.S. dollar. And what is that going to do? It's going to create money printing. The Fed will get out their little print and stop printing money. And what does that do in time? Causes more inflation. Means we pay more. Companies then say, what the heck's going on here? People are not buying stuff like they used to. No, because everything's gone up 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% higher. And it was just in a very short term ago. People are broke. So therefore, more job layoffs are going to happen. This is why we need to stack silver and gold. This is why we need to stop the gosh darn melt of our 90% silver history. They're not making it no more. If you folks have any questions about silver, gold, or platinum, reach out to me. My email is always in the description of every single video. I highly appreciate your time. Don't forget about the giveaway. We will be doing the giveaway when we reach 7,500 subscribers. I'll show again what Snakebite sent in case somebody missed it. Snakebite is one of my moderators. And I'll just show it real quick, everything real quick. Snakebite sent this 2-ounce King of the Pirates. It's got the compass on this. King of the Pirates. It's from South Korea. They only minted 5,000 of these. Bob. He's got his own YouTube channel. I put this link on several videos already. Thank you, Bob, for saying the baseball coin to me. I'll show this when we get closer to the giveaway, my friends. If you want to see what it looks like, just go on eBay. Look it up. 2014 Baseball Hall of Fame commemorative coin. 90% silver. They only minted 400,000 of these. I'm also donating Delaware Label Silver Eagle NGC MS70 coin. NGC made labels for all the states. Some labels are 7,777. Some other state labels are only low as 5,000. Delaware happens to be one of the states that has 7,777 labels out there. It has all the paperwork with this one. Type 2 Silver Eagle. That be part in the giveaway. I'm also donating a 1964 Kenny $half in the holder itself. Look, that's over 4 ounces of silver already in this giveaway. Channel sponsor Pinback said they were also going to be sending me something. I don't know what it is yet. We will be doing the giveaway shortly after this channel reaches 7,500 subscribers. Thank you again for your support, my friends. Thank you. Couldn't do this without you. Got any questions? You know where to reach me. Email in the description. Coin Shop Chris is out. We will see you tomorrow.